Hey, everybody, coming to you live from Bed Central. Or is it the great beyond? Anyway, I'm going to get off the camera now, but I just wanted to give a quick solar update because there's some different kinds of energy coming in. And it's affecting people, including myself, a little differently than usual. We are so in solar maximum. So, anyway, here we go. One of the cool things is that if you still have some of those eclipse glasses, you can go out tomorrow and try to see the naked eye sunspot regions. All these are all of the sunspots on the sun, and it's interesting because they're all facing us at the same time. So we expect to have continued activity, and I just keep getting a number feel that region 3888 is going to be a banger. The proton flux is starting to come back down, but that large flare I'll tell you about in a second that we had today is probably going to at least keep it somewhat elevated. See what I mean about how every sunspot region is facing us? Kind of interesting. I mean, others will probably develop on the far side as it spins around, but it's rare that they're just all on our side. So we had a pretty potent M7 today, and I'll show a little footage of that in a second. But the interesting thing about this flare and then the one we had a day or so ago is that not just myself, but a lot of people, as soon as it went off, could not either couldn't finish what they were doing, couldn't finish working, or in my case, I had to flat out pass out for several hours. I instantly had to go to sleep. It was the weirdest thing, and it's why I'm putting this out there because this solar maximum is amping up in intensity and it's going to affect us a little differently. Even some of the larger C flares that we're getting, like that C 7.1, look at that 7.1 and then 7.1. But at any rate, those are potent as well and putting out a lot of plasma. That's what I mean by potent. And these are all of our flares over the last week. So you can see that that level is staying up there. But we had an M4. Um, it's the dates are a little tricky because they use UTC time. So anyway, I don't think it was yesterday. It may have been the day before. But whatever day that was, I had to sleep for 3 hours. Besides all the flares going off, one of the little pieces of evidence that we are definitely in the solar maximum is this giant solar prominence. One could say that the sun's excited, maybe, but this prominence coming off the sun is greater than the distance between the Earth and the moon. That is ginormous. So this is the global total electron content, and when it's in the red, we have lots of electrons, which is good. At night, it goes down quite a bit. So when we get those flares at night, I think that's part of why it hits us harder. And here's that big, beautiful M7 flare. You can see that was a pretty big one. And I think when we get that rush of protons at night, it hits us a little harder than it does during the day, because during the day we just naturally have more electrons in our atmosphere. But these flares are getting big. Having pre-alerted you to the fact that I feel crappy, this is how it's going to be tonight. But at any rate, I just wanted to make you aware because that's a pretty extreme reaction that none of us have been having. And, you know, me, and some of the others from my Patreon who are experienced grid workers and who have been calibrating ourselves with the solar activity for years now have not had these intense reactions. So it's hilarious because I'm like, is this proof that I am an AI, that we're all AI? Is this all just, you know, the simulation thing? Because I feel like a device being powered down when it happens. The radio blackout happens, and then the big flare starts coming in, and I just, you know, the initial rush from it, and it's like I just have to go to sleep. And some people are having moments, sometimes longer than a moment, like an hour, and it happened to me this week as well, where it's like someone pushed the pause button. You're still, and it's not like a a fight or flight freeze kind of PTSD reaction or an adrenaline rush or a panic attack or anything. It's just like you are non-responsive even though you're aware. So it's more like a brief catatonic moment, and it's not distressing, but then afterwards you need to sleep. So I have a lot of theories about why all this is happening, but it is also happening to me. And wait for it, because I am Dorcas Supremus. I have been, dealing with and learning how to live with new food allergies and sensitivities. And I fava bean poisoned myself accidentally. So I'm not feeling so great. So I will be on my Patreon probably tomorrow or the next day with theories about what is going on, how this is affecting us differently, and also some ways that I think we can continue to improve our harmonizing with the solar activity in the same way that we harmonize with the earth. So, love you all, and that's all I've got for tonight.